This is the beginning of your new financial life. Are you 30 years old and you have no savings, and what do? Well, the only thing you can do is actually work within the constraints of your current reality. Don't wish it can be different, because it's not. I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but guess what? Your reality is your reality, and the acceptance of that reality is the biggest part to do now that you're 30 and you don't have a pot to piss in. So here's what you do. You start with where you're at. I don't care what your numbers are. The key is I need you to remove all that shame, blame, guilt, and judgment about your current reality, because it is what it is and it's not going to change. You have to start with where you're at. And where can you start? Now that you're 30 and you don't have any savings whatsoever, well, the best place to start is newfound money. Because most of us don't want to actually start out by saying, oh, for me to get something, I have to take something away. Who wants to do that? Nobody in the world wants to do that. So start with your newfound money. I don't even care if the next pay raise you get is only 2%. And you're like, well, that's not even keeping pace with inflation, blah, 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 blah. Well, you could certainly say that. But here's the deal. That 2%, you now have the opportunity to do something differently than you've never done before. And that newfound money could be a raise. It could be a tax return. It could be a bonus. It could be money that a grandma gave you as a gift because they're starting to do annual gifts out of their estate. It could be the fact that you paid off a debt. You've paid off a bill. And now you have some open cash flow. This is the beginning of your new financial life. It's the newfound money. So you don't feel like you have to give something up. You're just working with the new stuff. So this is about, at age 30, with no savings, that you are choosing to put intention behind every cash outflow that you now have opened up. So let's just use it as like a raise. You got that 2% pay raise. Let's say you went from $60,000 a year income to I'm just going to use easy math, $70,000 in income. So you got $10,000 more per year. Because I do the math all the time, that's about $833 a month. And then for most people, that's probably about $625 more per month cash flow. So it's about the intentionality of that $625 more per month that you got with that pay raise. And you know what? It might only be $60 a month that was your pay raise. I don't care. Here's why. It's your reality. Don't judge it. Don't shame yourself. Don't blame yourself. Don't blame your boss that it wasn't big enough. This is the biggest thing. Now that you're 30, this has got to change. It's just got to change. You have to say, okay, well, it's only $60. Okay, it's $600. It doesn't matter. It's just more zeros. The key is to create a system. The key is for you not to do anything that makes your nervous system contract, because then that blocks you from manifesting everything that you want moving forward. So go back to my example of $625 more per month. I want you to break it out into thirds, okay? Take that new money, and I'm just going to roll it to 600, so it's an even number. I want you to take $200 a month, and if you have other debts, I want you to autopilot put that towards that highest interest rated debt that you have, okay? And I have other worksheets and stuff that we can put the links below and download them. The key is autopilot. You have to put in your bill pay so that it automatically goes. If you try to do it yourself, I guarantee you every month it's not going to get the $200. Why? Because we find all these reasons why it shouldn't. So put it on autopilot. I need you to love yourself enough to put that extra $200 on debt autopilot so that you're not left to your human devices and your patterning that has created the fiscal dysfunction that you have up to this point. We need to break that pattern. We need to break that cycle. Now, the other 2/3, I want you to take another third, another $200, and I want you to spend it on whatever you want. Now, you may want to spend it in your monthly cash flows. But you may also want to put intentions behind it. So what are the intentions that you want to put behind it? Maybe it's, I want to buy a house one day. Maybe I had one guy who, he wanted a new golf club set. The wife wanted she wanted to upgrade her diamond ring. It might be spending like more vacations. It could be whatever that spending goal is, have intention behind it. And then you set up a savings account and you put that $200 on autopilot that the minute your money gets deposited from your checking account, the next day, whoop, it goes off into that savings account for that spending goal that you have. Because that's your compelling reason for change, something you desire. Now, we talked about paying off the debt. We talked about the spending. Now, let's talk about the wealth building, because that's the other third. The other $200 or $20 if it was just $60. Remember, it's all zeros. It may not be 600, it might be 60. So who cares? It could be 20 or 200 in each one of these intention setting financial buckets. In your future, I want you to break that down into emergency reserves, and don't put that in your bank at Chase or Bank of America or your local bank. Why? Because your dirty little fingers are going to touch it because you haven't saved any money up to this point. So you are going to likely wind up making that account rotational. So I need you to put it somewhere that's not in a savings account at the bank that you're actually where your checking account is at. Go find a savings account online. There's plenty of them that are out there that you can put this money into monthly, and it's out of sight, out of mind, and get a good interest rate on it. That's for your short term. But you also need a portion of that to go in your midterm and also into your retirement. So that $200, maybe you want $100 of it to go in your short term because you haven't built any emergency reserves. Okay, then that's a priority. But then put $50 in a midterm and $50 in your retirement. This is how you start at age 30 to start to lay the foundation. And then next year, when you get the next raise, you do the same thing. Next year, when you get the pay raise, you split it up the same. A third into this bucket, a third of this spending bucket, and a third into your future bucket. Keep following the system. Keep following the patterning, because that is what will catch you up over time for not doing well savings in your 20s. Do you want to experience free coaching based on my 25 plus years as being a financial planner and ask me any question that you want to ask me to help you get past that hurdle in your financial world? I run these free workshops every other month to start to open you up to start to help you get to this next place. The information for my free workshop, click the link below and register, and I'll see you on the next workshop. Don't forget to hit that notification bell and like and subscribe to the channel. Why? Because then you can get more knowledge all the time and be a part of a community that's actually going to lift you up.